So just like everyone else in the industry, it seems like Katt Williams isn't who we expected, bruh. Now, Katt Williams has been known for exposing the industry, taking his time out to hop on different platforms to expose the truth of what he's seen behind closed doors. But in today's video, I came across a topic that says they never actually exposed the industry. Now, they simply means Katt Williams and Jim Carrey. Now, we already know what happened with Jim Carrey. He sold his soul. He's cooked. He's done. It's over for Jim Carrey. Now, I always thought that Katt Williams will be the one true person who stays true to himself. But it seems like that's not the case, man. We're about to hop into this video. Make sure you guys do leave a like down below and subscribe if you haven't already. But let's get into this topic of conversation, y'all.
2 years ago, Katt Williams went on Shay Shay and set Hollywood on fire.
All lies will be exposed.
He named the names no one else dared to touch.
Ben Cedric and Kevin Hart and Tiffany Haddish.
In that moment, he wasn't just a comedian, he became the face of the Hollywood resistance. But look at Katt today. It's like he forgot he ever called them out. Not only did the industry welcome him back, but he's signing massive deals with the very system he claimed was the enemy. And he's not the only one. From Dave Chappelle to Jim Carrey, there's a recurring pattern. One day they're exposing the darkness, and the next, they're back on the red carpet promoting it. Were they ever actually whistleblowers, or were they just gaslighting you to use your energy? Today, we expose the whistleblowers who turned out to be frauds. By the end of this video, you will never look at these stars the same way again. Katt Williams set the internet on fire in 2024 with his Shay Shay interview. While Katt had gone after Hollywood previously, this time it was different. He wasn't afraid to name names, calling out people like Kevin Hart, NiTris, and the disgraced music mogul. He claimed that many celebrities in the industry had sold out, insinuating that their main job was to pretend like they didn't. Katt even exposed the backroom deals that were allegedly required to climb the industry ladder. Deals rumored to have compromising requirements to fulfill. When I say this interview went viral, I mean it exploded. It garnered over 30 million views in a few
Facts.
days
I remember
and
that,
currently
bro.
sits at 90 million views on
And the only thing I could think of at this time when the video was going viral and all the clips were going all over social media, my number one question was this. I never knew Katt Williams to be the type of person to expose the industry before. What made him try to expose the industry now? Like, I'm always the type of person that in every single situation, I like to ask questions. I need to get to the reasons why. You can ask my parents. I've been like this since birth. It's a God-given discernment, God-given ability. I'm asking all types of questions and I'm finding out the truth. Because I really didn't understand it, bro. After being in the industry for all these years, after making all this money, why would Katt Williams expose everything? But let's continue.
YouTube. It sent shockwaves through the media, and Katt Williams became an overnight sensation, a symbol for the resistance against the greedy, soulless Hollywood system. This interview, as Katt said, sparked the beginning of the awakening. Finally, the masses were going to see the truth about the industry they idolized so much. But before that moment, Katt was relatively quiet. Besides a few comedy specials here and there, he was fading from relevance. His time in the spotlight had long since come and gone. But after that interview, almost instantly his face was plastered everywhere. Strangely, even though he viciously exposed Hollywood, the industry was calling him the man of the year. He was invited to interviews on all the big platforms, the mainstream media couldn't get enough of him, and he was even featured in the Hollywood publication GQ, labeled the man who opened the portal. Who knew that for Katt Williams to be welcomed back into Hollywood, all he had to do was expose it? Katt Williams was the #1 guy again. But instead of using all that newfound attention to help change the industry issues he personally brought to light, he used it to sign a massive comedy special deal with Netflix worth millions. He went right back into business with the very people he became famous for exposing.
And that's the reason why right there, bro. I quickly found out that there are going to be a lot of people in the industry who play both extremes. People who play the fence on both sides. Those people who want to stand up and expose the things for views. And then the people who are going to stand up and claim this demonic agenda for views. AKA Playboy Cardi. AKA Doja Cat. AKA Eminem. Everybody who has ever openly admitted their allegiance to Satan play that one extreme. Then you have people like Katt Williams, for example, Jim Carrey, for example, who they act like, I'm going to expose him. I'm going to blow the whole lid off this thing. but they end up getting cloned and shit. End up getting botted and shit, bro. It's like what are we doing? End up getting a contract. I was gonna do a whole reaction to the Katt Williams show that he just got with Netflix. They deleted it immediately, bro. Couldn't even, before I could click public, it was already gone. The video was done. It's done. Recorded 30 minutes of content exposing the whole entire thing that he was saying during this comedy show. Deleted.
2026, Katt Williams is launching a major new arena tour and releasing a fourth Netflix comedy special. Someone who was recently calling out the industry and resisting the power structure wouldn't normally get rewarded by that power structure. It is counterintuitive. Unfortunately, it seems Katt Williams might have had other intentions than spreading the truth. I believe that one of two things might explain what happened in this situation. One, he likely saw an opportunity and took advantage of it. In 2024, the Puffy situation was just starting to unfold. The industry rumors about weird things happening behind the scenes had existed for years. Katt even joked about it live on stage during one of his early comedy specials. But back then, everyone just thought it was a funny joke. The moment Puffy's strange behavior was exposed, all the rumors were suddenly validated. Katt had been rejected by the industry, and he ruined his name with his fans due to several controversies, like the time he got into a physical confrontation with a middle schooler. Before that interview, his reputation wasn't at its best.
That is not funny, bro. That is not funny, bro. Bro, how tall is Katt Williams, bro? For you to be intimidated by a 7th grader, you must be a short human being, bro. No. Shout out to my short people. You feel what I'm saying? Shout out to all my midgets. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to y'all. But don't fight 7th graders. You know what I'm saying?
Physical confrontation with a middle schooler. Before that interview, his reputation wasn't at its best. So, I believe he decided to use that moment to vent on the industry. Not only to get revenge for kicking him out, but also to repair his reputation. This way, people would stop seeing him as a fading comedian and start seeing him as a beacon of truth. He wanted to go viral. That's the reason he called out so many big names during the interview. He knew he would go viral and could leverage that moment to spark life into his career. And it worked perfectly. Now Hollywood has invited him back in so he can stop complaining and keep quiet. We all know a mouth well fed doesn't talk. Now the other explanation is that Katt really did try to expose the industry. Katt has a well-documented history of calling out Hollywood. He has done it before during old interviews. He knew Shay Shay was a massive platform, so he could have possibly used it to call out the industry once again. But this time it blew up and it really made the industry look bad. They noticed Katt was running his mouth again, so they gave him a call and made him an offer he couldn't refuse, just so he would stop talking. Katt, not willing to turn down tens of millions of dollars, took those deals. Then, Hollywood started plastering him around everywhere to show they got him again. In either scenario, it's still the same outcome. Katt Williams called out the industry only to sell out to them the first moment he could, just like we saw with Dave Chappelle. Dave Chappelle was Katt Williams before Katt Williams. At the peak of his career with the biggest comedy networks throwing millions at him, Dave got up and randomly left, running off to Africa. To everyone, this made no sense at all. He had just signed a record-breaking $50 million deal for another season of his hit show, Chappelle's Show. But instead of going to work one morning, Dave packed up and disappeared. He refused to return and film the season. Without a clear explanation, rumors started to circulate that painted Dave in a troubled way. They blamed this sudden disappearance on the same things that affect every troubled actor. But when Dave finally resurfaced, he had a different explanation. According to him, he wasn't dealing with personal issues, he was dealing with industry issues. He showed up on Oprah and told the world that he went to Africa and turned down $50 million because he refused to compromise his morals. He claimed the industry wanted him to sell out, that Hollywood executives treated him less than human and wanted to force him into situations he wasn't comfortable with. When the industry wouldn't respect his morals and try to turn him into a puppet, he walked away from it all. Dave wasn't seen in the industry again for a long time. But 12 years later, not only was he back, he had completely forgotten that he called out the industry to begin with. Around 2016 and 2017, Dave started showing up all over the industry again. He did interviews with late-night hosts and even did pop-up comedy shows. Then it was announced that Dave had signed a massive multi-special deal with Netflix, reportedly worth $60 million. On March 21st, 2017,
Now it's one thing. I want to clear this up. Just because you sign a contract with Netflix, that doesn't automatically make you a perpetrator, bro. Let me be clear on that. That's called business. You get what I'm saying? Like, Dave Chappelle is a comedian. He's an entertainer. He does this for a living. For him to turn down $50 million was him saying, I'm not willing to do this for no amount of money. Whatever they were going to have him doing on that show for the 50 mil, he was not willing to do it. He didn't sell his moral compass. He didn't sell out according to what he believed in. I respect that. But just because he did sign another comedy special for $60 million, that doesn't necessarily mean right away he sold his soul. Maybe the terms of the contract, maybe he was allowed to do things that more so align with what he is. Dave Chappelle has been making millions of dollars since a very decent age. Like, he doesn't have to sell out. But I'm curious to see what's being said.
Released his first concert special in 12 years. Just like that, he had returned to the very industry he had escaped 12 years earlier. While he never confirmed exactly why he decided to return, to me, it seems that 12 years away likely left him low on money. He was offered $60 million, an amount he couldn't refuse. But just like we saw with Katt, it's clear Dave sold out and went back to the people he accused of attacking his morals. Dave wasn't the only one to claim to expose Hollywood only to return like nothing ever happened. Jim Carrey did the exact same.
Yeah, see, like, once again, I don't like to make claims or assumptions based on just mere speculation. You feel what I'm saying? So for someone, to me, this is just how I'm thinking. Maybe I'm wrong, but this is just how I'm thinking. For someone to have turned down $50 million after making millions already because something went against their morals, I don't think they're going to double back, violate their morals just because it's another $10 million. I don't see that happening, right? What I see happening is maybe the contract was negotiated, terms were brought to a mutual understanding of this is what I'm willing to do and this is what I'm not willing to do. This is what I believe in, this is what I don't believe in. Because even if you look at Dave Chappelle's comedy shows right now, all of his comedy shows are real. Like, he brings comedy to real life topic of conversations. Like, he exposes shit still to this day through comedy. And I respect that. If he's getting paid $60 million for it, shout out to him. That's good business. You feel what I'm saying? Just because he signed a deal doesn't mean he automatically sold his soul. I don't like when people make those two, like, that assumption immediately.
Jim Carrey was one of the highest paid actors in Hollywood. In the 90s, he was the first to earn $20 million for a single film, The Cable Guy. He consistently secured high paychecks, earning over $200 million in salary and bonuses between 1994 and 2008. He was basically the face of Hollywood for a whole generation. But then, something started to change with Carrey. He went from the class clown to the golf kid who didn't see the reason for being in class to begin with. In 2014, he showed up on Jimmy Kimmel Live and appeared to call out Hollywood, joking that an unseen force runs the show and that
like Jim Carrey, for example, is someone that I'll be like, damn, he's sold out. If you look at Jim Carrey and look at Dave Chappelle, Jim Carrey tried to expose the industry, do all these things, and then went back and did exactly what he spoke out against. That's not necessarily what Dave Chappelle did. You get what I'm saying? It's a clear distinction. You can see it with what has been going on with Jim Carrey recently.
All the celebrities were a part of it. This was followed by more strange behavior from him, like when he showed up to an E! News interview calling the red carpet meaningless and saying celebrities, including himself, didn't matter. In fact, he famously said that Jim Carrey doesn't even exist. After these strange appearances, Jim took a massive step back from the industry. Following the release of Dumb and Dumber 2 in late 2014, Carrey's film output slowed significantly. Between 2014 and 2020, he only appeared in two smaller films, the dystopian thriller The Bad Batch and the crime drama Dark Crimes, both released around 2016. Jim, once the face of Hollywood, had now left the industry, never to return. But by never to return, I mean he returned just 6 years later for the first Sonic movie in 2020. They paid him $4 million, and Carrey seemingly forgot any and all issues he had with Hollywood. Following the success of the first Sonic film, a sequel was ordered, and then a third. Carrey was paid an additional $12 million for the third film alone, and with his appearance in a fourth Sonic film confirmed, it looks like he's found his purpose again, a big bag of money. With Jim, we don't have to guess what brought him back. He admits out of his own mouth that he needed the money, likely to pay for all that plastic surgery and for those French lessons.
I came back to this universe because, first of all, I get to play a genius, which is a bit of a stretch. I bought a lot of stuff and I need the money, frankly. Yeah.
With Carrey, I don't think he was ever really against the industry. I believe all his strange antics were misunderstood. He was never calling out Hollywood, he was attacking himself. If you want to know what his recent transformation was all about,
crazy.
make sure to watch this video right after this one. It explains exactly what happened to him. But while Carrey was trying to expose how meaningless Hollywood is, Elijah Wood was trying to expose how dark it can get. Recently, I did a video where I spoke about celebrities who tried calling out Hollywood but were initially ignored. Elijah Wood was one of the celebrities I covered. A few years back, he called out Hollywood for how it deals with child stars, saying during an interview that the industry had a major problem when it came to them. But unlike Dave and Katt Williams, Elijah didn't need 10 years to start backtracking. When the media started running his story, he quickly retracted it, coming out with a statement clarifying he knew of nothing happening in the industry. Not only has Elijah Wood continued to have a great career in Hollywood, but recently he was featured in the movie Ready or Not 2, which I recently just covered. But if Elijah was minutes away from losing his career, Kanye was past the point of no return. For the past few years, Kanye has been calling out the industry for all sorts of reasons. He claimed the industry took advantage of artists and was trying to control him. Kanye went on a rampage, destroying his relationships in the industry and earning a reputation as a loose cannon. He was quickly canceled and kicked out. His partnerships with companies like Adidas ended, and no major US touring venue would host him for a
Bro, he looks like a bad little kid in this picture right here. Just a little bad little kid, man.
show. His entire place in the industry was erased. Even after losing everything, Kanye kept saying controversial things. But just this year, it seems that losing those industry connections finally caught up to him. In 2026, he returned with an apology for all the things he had said during the past few years. This came after he met with a representative for those he offended during his rants. Now, after his apology, it appears he is planning a successful comeback. Kanye West is currently scheduled to perform in the US with rare high-profile concerts at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles on April 1st and April 3rd. These shows mark a significant return to the US stage following his beef with the industry. Just like the rest of these celebrities, it reached a point where money was more important than whatever point he was trying to make. The moment those millions start running low, they forget they ever had a problem with the industry. In my opinion, I personally believe Kanye didn't care about calling out Hollywood. I believe he only wanted to mobilize his fans and use their attention to get what he wanted. While Kanye did burn bridges, he also got out of his record label contracts years early. But messing with the industry comes with consequences, which he learned the hard way. As you can see, all these celebrities convinced the world to back them while they went after corruption. But every time, the moment they were offered enough money, they went running back. They weren't exposing the industry, they were renegotiating their deals. This was only a few names on a long list of celebrities who gaslit their fans. If you're interested in a part 2 to this video where I expose more of these sellouts, comment part 2 below. And if enough of you want to see that, I'll make sure that's the next video.
But I could definitely say I can see and agree where Katt Williams and Dave Chappelle definitely renegotiating their contracts, bro. This whole thing was definitely a renegotiation. But Jim Carrey, bro, that man's just a sellout, bro. Really what it boils down to. So much so that he even got his face done. Made him look like he was cloned. Can't make this up, y'all. But listen, I'm going to end this video right here. If you guys did enjoy, make sure to leave a like down below and subscribe. And I'm going to catch y'all next one, man. Peace.